The memory no one expected the hotel room was quiet. Not the kind of quiet that makes you feel calm, but the kind that makes your chest feel heavy. Outside the windows, the city lights sparkled like stars that had fallen to the ground. But inside, the mood was dim. Ana de Armas sat on the couch, her legs tucked beneath her, a half-empty teacup resting on the small glass table in front of her. She had just come back from a long day on set. Her hair was still tied in a loose bun, and her eyes carried a kind of tiredness that had nothing to do with sleep. She wasn't crying, but she looked like she had been close to it. Keanu Reeves stood by the window, looking out, silent. He hadn't said much since he arrived 20 minutes ago. He was holding something small in his hand, a USB drive. And even though Ana didn't know what it was, she had a feeling whatever was on it would change something between them. "You okay?" she asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Keanu turned around. His face was gentle, but there was a tightness in his jaw. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked over to the TV, plugged the USB in, and sat down beside her. "I want to show you something," he said finally. Ana looked at him, confused. "What is it? Just watch." The screen lit up. At first, there was only static. Then the image cleared. It was old footage. It's grainy, a little shaky. The kind you'd expect from a phone camera, more than a decade old. Ana's eyes widened. "Is that, yeah?" Keanu said before she could finish. The video showed a small group of young actors standing in a circle backstage at a charity event. Ana recognized herself instantly. She looked so different back then, more nervous, more unsure of herself. Beside her was Keanu, younger too, but with the same quiet presence. Someone was speaking in the video. Her voice cracked slightly as she spoke, thanking everyone for welcoming her into Hollywood and for believing in her. "I didn't even remember this," she whispered. Keanu said nothing. He kept his eyes on the screen. In the video, something unexpected happened. As Ana spoke, a man interrupted her. It was another actor, well known at the time, now forgotten. He laughed loudly, mocked her accent, and said something cruel. The laughter in the room died instantly. Ana's face in the video froze. The camera caught the moment her smile disappeared, and then Keanu stepped forward. In the video, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't curse or yell. He just looked the man in the eye and said, "That's enough. Don't speak to people like that, especially not someone with a bigger heart than you'll ever understand." The video ended. Silence filled the room. Ana sat there, frozen. She hadn't remembered that night. Or maybe she had buried it deep. "Why are you showing me this?" she finally asked. Keanu looked at her with the kind of softness that only came from deep respect. "Because you're forgetting who you are," he said. "You're doubting yourself. You've been acting like you don't belong here anymore, like you're not enough. But I remember this moment, and I remember how strong you were. I just wanted you to see it again." Ana looked away, blinking. Fast. "I didn't even know someone recorded it," she said. Her voice cracked. "I did," Keanu replied. "I asked someone to film it that night. I never told you, just kept it. Because I knew one day, maybe you'd need it." The tears came quietly. Ana didn't sob or break down. They just slid down her cheeks like soft reminders of everything she had been holding back. "Thank you," she whispered. "No one's ever done something like that for me." Keanu nodded. "You've done more for others than you know. Just thought maybe, this time, someone should do something for you." Ana turned to him, really looked at him, for a moment. Neither of them spoke. And yet it felt like they were saying everything they needed to say. That night, something shifted, not between them as actors, not even between them as friends. But deep inside Ana, for the first time in a long time, she remembered what it felt like to be seen. And Keanu Reeves, the man the world called humble, kind, mysterious, had reminded her of something she hadn't even known she'd lost. The next morning, the video was still on her mind. But what stayed with her more was the look in Keanu's eyes. The way he believed in her without needing to say it again. But Ana had no idea that this was just the beginning, because the video wasn't the only thing he had kept. And what came next would leave not just her, but everyone completely speechless. The second secret next day, Anna walked into the studio with a different kind of silence around her. The type that follows someone who's carrying something heavy in their chest, but doesn't know how to put it down yet. She had barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her younger self on that screen, the fear in her face, the courage she didn't know she had. And Keanu standing beside her like a shield, she kept thinking about one thing he said. That wasn't the only thing I kept. What else could there be? She wanted to ask. She wanted to press him. But something inside told her to wait. Let him speak when he's ready. Hours passed. Filming was long and difficult. She tried to focus, but her mind wandered. By the time the director called it a day, Anna was emotionally drained. She walked out the back door of the studio to avoid attention, expecting a quiet walk to her car. Instead, she found Keanu standing by the wall, his motorcycle helmet in one hand. "You waited?" she asked, surprised. "I figured you'd need some air," he replied with a soft smile. Anna smiled, too, though it barely reached her eyes. "I haven't stopped thinking about that video." "I know," Keanu said. "There's something else I want to show you, but only if you want." Yana hesitated. "Will it break me again?" Keanu looked straight into her. "It might." Put some of the pieces back together. They rode in silence. His motorcycle weaved through the quiet streets. She clung to him, not for safety, but because it felt like the only thing keeping her grounded. He took her to a small house on the edge of the city. It didn't look like anything special. Plain walls, chipped paint, a small garden with overgrown flowers. But the second she stepped inside, Anna felt something she couldn't explain. Like a part of her past had been waiting here, untouched. Keanu led her to the back room. It was filled with shelves. Hundreds of DVD cases, photo albums, notebooks, even some dusty camcorders. "What is this place?" she whispered. Keanu didn't answer right away. He walked over to one shelf, pulled down an old binder, and handed it to her. "Open it." Anna sat down on the old couch and slowly flipped it open. Inside were pages of handwritten letters. Not from Keanu, but from people all over the world. "They're fan letters," he said quietly. "To you." Anna blinked. "What?" "Over the years, people sent messages to the studios. Some never got to you. Some were filtered out. I collected the ones I could. Had friends help me find them. These are from people who saw themselves in you, in your roles, your courage, your voice, your heart." Anna ran her fingers over one of the letters. It was from a girl in Peru, thanking her for showing that a Latina actress could make it in Hollywood without changing who she was. "Why would you do this?" she asked, her voice cracking. Keanu sat beside her. "Because you kept going. Even when people doubted you, you helped others believe they could too. But somewhere along the way, you forgot the impact you had. I didn't want that to be lost." Anna kept reading. Tears fell, but she didn't wipe them away. She wanted to feel every word. "This is too much," she whispered. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Keanu said softly. "Just remember." They sat in silence, surrounded by years of memory stories, and voices that had once cried out to be heard. After a while, Anna turned to him. "How long have you been doing this?" Keanu hesitated. "Since the day you almost quit." Anna froze. "You knew about that? You were going to leave after that award show years ago," he said. "You were hurting. I saw it, and I thought, if I could collect the truth and bring it back to you one day, maybe it would save you from ever feeling like that again." Anna covered her mouth. Her shoulders shook. "I never knew," she whispered. "I thought no one noticed." "I did," he replied. "And I always will." For the second time in 2 nights, Anna felt something break inside her. But this time it wasn't pain. It was healing. When she finally looked up, her eyes were brighter, still teary, but with something new behind them. Strength. "Can we stay here a little longer?" she asked. Keanu nodded. "As long as you need." Outside, the sky began to darken. But inside that quiet little room, surrounded by pieces of forgotten love, something bright was coming back to life. What Anna didn't know was that the most powerful part of her journey hadn't been revealed yet, because there was still one more. Secret Keanu had been holding on to, and when she found out, the whole world would feel it. The day she almost walked away the next morning, Anna woke up on the old couch in that small, quiet house. The binder of letters was still resting on her lap. Sunlight poured in through the thin curtains, warming the room with a golden glow. For a second, she didn't move. She just stared at the cover and remembered every word she had read the night before. Keanu was already in the kitchen, making tea. His presence was calm, grounding, like a tree that never bent too far, no matter the storm. "You didn't wake me," Anna said softly as she walked in. "You needed the rest," he replied without turning. Anna sat at the small table. "I kept dreaming about that night," she said after a pause. "Which night?" Keanu asked, even though part of him already knew. "The night I almost quit. The night you mentioned yesterday." She stared down at her hands. "Do you really remember it?" Keanu nodded slowly, like it happened yesterday. Anna leaned back in her chair and looked toward the ceiling. "I never told anyone the whole truth about that night. Maybe now it's time." Keanu sat across from her, silent, letting her speak in her own time. "It was 2 years into my career," Anna began. "I had just done a film I was proud of, but the press didn't care. They wrote about my accent, my clothes, who I was dating, but never about the work. That night at the awards show, I smiled the whole time. Smiled through the fake laughs, the comments whispered behind my back, the looks, and then backstage." She stopped for a moment, her breath shaking. "Someone told me I should stick to foreign films, that I wasn't America's kind of pretty, that I'd never win an award here." Keanu's jaw tightened. "I went back to the green room. I looked in the mirror and just broke. I thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not enough. I was ready to walk out and never come back. I even had my phone in my hand looking at flights home." Then she continued, "You walked in. You didn't say anything at first. You just looked at me, then sat beside me. You didn't ask what was wrong. You didn't try to cheer me up. You just sat with me in the silence." Keanu looked down. "I remember the silence more than the words." Anna nodded. "But when you finally spoke, you said something I've never forgotten." "What did I say?" he asked gently. Anna looked into his eyes. "You said, the world doesn't decide if you belong, do you?" Keanu's face softened. "I meant it. I know," Anna whispered, "and it saved me. I left the green room, held my head high, and finished that night because of you." Keanu reached across the table, his hand resting gently over hers. "I didn't want to speak for you," he said. "I just wanted you to hear your own strength again." Anna blinked away the tears. "So many people see you as this quiet, private guy. They don't know how much you carry for others." Keanu shrugged. "I just believe in showing up. When people need you, show up, even if you don't have the answers." For a while, they sat there in the soft light, holding that memory between them like a fragile thing, but as warm and healing as the morning felt. It didn't prepare Anna for what Keanu revealed next. "There's one more thing," he said quietly. Anna looked up, heart already racing. "Another video?" Keanu shook his head. "No, something else. Something I never meant to share. But now, maybe it's time." He got up and walked to a locked drawer in the corner of the room. He pulled out a small, worn notebook. The leather cover was faded. Anna watched closely. As he handed it to her, "What is this?" she asked. "Something I started writing the day we met." Anna opened it carefully. The first page had her name, written in Keanu's neat handwriting. Beneath it, a short line. "She carries fire and gentleness in equal measure." Anna kept flipping. Each page had something new, a moment they shared, a quote she said on set that he found inspiring, a time he saw her lift someone up when no one else was watching. "You wrote about me?" Her voice was barely audible. "I wrote to you," Keanu said, "but never had the courage to give it." Anna stopped flipping. Her hands trembled. "Why now?" Keanu looked at her, steady. "Because you deserve to know what your light looks like from someone who sees you clearly." Anna closed the notebook slowly, holding it to her chest. "You kept all these things from me, all this time. Didn't do it for thanks," Keanu said. I did it because I knew one day you'd need to be reminded of the truth. Anna stood up, walked toward him, and wrapped her arms around him. For a long moment, they didn't say anything. But the silence said enough. In that small house, with the past laid out between them, something powerful was happening. Healing, remembrance, trust. But what neither of them knew was that someone else had seen that video too. Someone who was about to use it for something they never expected, and everything was about to change. The leak that shook everything 3 days past, the quiet house, the notebook, the letters, they all stayed with Anna like a melody she couldn't forget. For the first time in years, she felt seen, truly seen. But peace, as always, is fragile, and sometimes it only takes one whisper to break it. It was early morning when the world found out Anna was at home, making coffee, still wearing her pajama hoodie. Her phone buzzed once, then again, then non-stop. At first she ignored it, but the vibration wouldn't stop. She picked it up and froze. The headline read, "Never-before-seen video of young armas goes viral. Keanu Reeves defends her against cruel insult." Beneath it was a still frame, her face young and trembling. Keanu's expression calm but fierce. The moment he had stepped in, Anna's hands went cold. She clicked the video. It had already been shared over 1 million times. Comments poured in. "This is the kind of man Hollywood needs." I'm crying watching this, the pain in her eyes. Keanu is an angel in human form. Thank you, Anna, for never giving up. Her heart pounded. This wasn't supposed to be out there. That video was meant to stay between them. Then came another headline. Keanu Reeves kept a secret archive of support letters for Ana de Armas. Is this Hollywood's most humble friendship? Anna dropped her phone. She knew someone had leaked it all. She rushed to call Keanu. He answered after 2 rings. "You saw it?" she asked, her voice barely steady. "Yeah," he said quietly. Who would do this?" Keanu sighed. "I don't know, but I'm sorry, Anna. This was never meant to be public." Anna sat down, shaking. "What do we do now?" "We wait," he said, "and we stay grounded." But it wasn't that simple. Hours later, her publicist called, then producers, then journalists. They all wanted statements, interviews, reactions. Hollywood was buzzing. People weren't just moved, they were obsessed. Meanwhile, Anna couldn't breathe. She wasn't ready for this attention, especially not attention built on one of the most painful moments of her life. The notebook, the video, the letters. They had all been part of a quiet healing, not a media storm. That evening, Keanu showed up at her door. He looked more tired than usual. Not physically, but emotionally. Like he'd been carrying a weight he didn't want her to see, I think. "I know who did it," he said. Anna's eyes narrowed. "Who?" "A crew member. Someone who helped me digitize the old footage." "I trusted him, and he must have sold it." Anna sat back, stunned. "But why? Maybe money, maybe attention." "I don't know." She looked down. "People think it's beautiful, but to me it still hurts. I wasn't ready." "I know," Keanu said gently, "but maybe now the world sees a piece of your truth. And maybe for once they're honoring it." Anna nodded slowly, unsure of what to feel. "But it doesn't feel like mine anymore." Keanu sat beside her. "Then take it back. Use your voice. Tell your story your way." She looked at him. "Will you help me?" "It's always," he said without hesitation. The next day, Anna posted a video. No glam, no makeup, just her in a hoodie. Sitting in her kitchen, she spoke simply, honestly. "When I was younger, I didn't think my voice mattered. I thought if I spoke up, I'd lose everything. But now I know truth doesn't need permission to exist. Kindness doesn't ask for cameras. That moment you all saw, it was painful, but it was also real. And I'm grateful that Keanu showed me what it means to stand beside someone, quietly, without needing recognition. This was never about going viral. It was about surviving and remembering who we are." The video hit millions of views in a single day. It's not because it was dramatic, but because it was human. Keanu watched it from his own home. He didn't post anything, didn't make a statement, didn't need to. His actions had already spoken. But deep down, A storm was building, and it was about to pull them both into something even more complicated, because one person wasn't happy about the video's release. Someone from Anna's past, someone who had a reason to stay hidden, and now they were coming forward. The face she never wanted to see again. Days passed since Anna's kitchen video went viral. The storm that followed was loud but strangely healing. Fans flooded social media with love, stories of silent battles, private pain, and unexpected courage began surfacing from people all over the world. Anna didn't reply to every message, but she read them. Each one felt like a piece of her heart was being returned slowly, gently. But fame has layers. And behind the loudest applause, sometimes the darkest voices wait. One evening, she sat in her apartment, staring at her phone. She had received a strange text. No name, no number, just a message. It's not over. You forgot what you did. Anna's stomach turned. She didn't recognize the number, but something about the message felt familiar, like a shadow she thought she'd outrun. She showed the text to Keanu the next morning. They sat together in the same small house where the healing began. You think it's a joke? She asked, trying to sound calm. Keanu shook his head. No, whoever this is, they know something. And they want you to feel fear. But why now? Keanu paused. Because your voice finally reached the world. And that kind of light always disturbs someone hiding in the dark. Anna looked away. A name came to mind, one she hadn't spoken in years. There's someone I haven't told you about, she said, her voice low. Keanu waited. His name is Ryan. Keanu's jaw tightened. He didn't speak, but his eyes narrowed slightly. He was a producer, not famous. With so said a say and fresh to the South by and without further turn frost at the said I was He said he'd help me. She looked down, fingers shaking slightly. He made promises, offered roles. Then he started asking for things in return. Little things at first. Compliments, late meetings, uncomfortable favors. When I said no, he turned cold, tried to blackball me, told people I was difficult. Keanu's voice was calm but sharp. Did he hurt you? Anna didn't answer right away, not physically. But he stole something. The part of me that used to believe everyone had good intentions. And you never told anyone? Who would have listened back then? I was nobody. Keanu stood up and paced the room. Do you think it's him sending the messages? I don't know, Anna whispered. But if it is, he won't stop. Keanu looked at her with something deeper than concern. It was a kind of quiet rage, the kind he rarely showed. Then we don't let him hide anymore. Anna blinked. What do you mean? We don't wait for the next message. Find him. And we bring the truth into the light, on your terms. But Keanu, this could ruin everything. You're not the one hiding, he said. He is. And that means he's already afraid. They started digging that night. Keanu made calls. Old friends. Trusted contacts. People who respected him not for his fame, but for his loyalty. Within a day, they found him. Ryan Miller. Still working. Still connected to the industry. Only now, he was rebranding, calling himself a mentor for rising talent. Anna stared at his photo online, the same cold smile, the same eyes. He hasn't changed, she said. Keanu looked at her. But you have. Anna nodded. She wasn't the same scared girl anymore, and maybe This was the moment she could finally take back the part of her story she'd locked away. They made a plan. Anna wouldn't confront him alone. She wouldn't do it for revenge. She would do it for closure, and for every person who never got. To say no, the next evening, Keanu and Anna attended a private industry event. Not flashy, just networking, drinks, quiet music. She knew he would be there. Anna wore no makeup, simple black dress, nothing designed to impress. She didn't need to perform, not this time. She spotted Ryan across the room, laughing, charming people, like nothing had ever happened. Keanu stayed close, but silent. He was her anchor. This was her moment. Anna walked straight up to Ryan, turned, and for a second, just a split second, his smile faltered. "Anna," said, pretending surprise. "Wow, it's been years." She looked him dead in the eye. Not long enough. His fake smile returned, shaky this time. "You look incredible." "I remember everything you said to me," she replied. "Everything you did. And I remember how you made me feel." People nearby started noticing. Heads turned. Whispers rose. "Anna, come on," Ryan said. "Let's not make a scene. You made scenes in private," she said, her voice steady. "This is just the truth," out loud. Keanu stepped beside her then, quiet, firm, present. Anna continued. "I'm not here to fight. I'm here to let you know I'm not afraid of you anymore." Ryan opened his mouth, but nothing came out. "You don't control stories anymore," Anna said. "You can't erase what you did." With that, she turned and walked away. Keanu followed. The room was silent behind them, outside. Under the night sky, Anna finally breathed. Really breathed. "That was brave," Keanu said. "That was necessary." She replied, but as they stood there, something else happened. Anna's phone buzzed again. Another message. This one said, "You. Think that was all? I kept something too, and the world's going to see it." The final reveal Anna stood frozen, staring at the message on her phone. "You think that was all? I kept something too, and the world's going to see it." The words felt colder than the night breeze around her. Her fingers trembled, but she forced herself to stay calm. She showed Keanu the message. He read it twice, his jaw clenched. "He's bluffing," he said quietly. "He wants to scare you into silence again." Anna shook her head. "But what if he's not bluffing? What if he has something from those early days? Something he twisted? What if Keanu gently placed a hand on her shoulder, and we face it?" Together, they drove back in silence. Inside, the little house felt different now. Not unsafe, but more like a battleground. A place where truth had been spoken, but the war wasn't over yet. Keanu started calling people again. Lawyers, contacts in the industry. He wanted to be ready in case Ryan tried anything public. But Anna sat quietly with her thoughts, her past flashing like broken glass in her mind. An hour later, another message arrived. This time, it was a video link. Keanu opened it before she could. It loaded quickly. The screen showed a young Anna, clearly tired, clearly uncomfortable, sitting in a dim room, answering questions off camera. The voice behind the camera was unmistakable. "Ryan, just smile, Anna," his voice said. "Tell them how much you owe me. Let's all be grateful." Anna's face in the video tried to smile. It cracked almost immediately. I wouldn't be here without him," her younger self mumbled. Her eyes shifted nervously to the side. "He's done a lot for me." And the video ended. Anna covered her mouth. "He recorded that without me knowing. He was pressuring me that night. It was after I told him no, he said he needed proof I respected him." Keanu's voice was steady. "Now he's trying to use it to destroy your voice." Anna nodded. "We have to stop him." But before they could decide what to do next, something unexpected happened. The video link was leaked. Not by them, not by Ryan. Someone else posted it, and this time it backfired. Online, the response wasn't what Ryan had hoped for. Viewers immediately recognized the manipulation. The comments poured in. You can literally see the fear in her eyes. "This isn't proof, it's abuse. Who was behind the camera? They should be held accountable." Media outlets picked it up, and so did powerful voices in Hollywood, especially women who had faced similar situations. Actresses, directors, producers, they began to speak up soon. Hashtag began trending. Hashtag I believe Anna didn't expect the support. She didn't ask for it, but it came like a tidal wave, not of pity, but of strength. Keanu sat beside her on the couch as they watched it unfold. This time, the internet wasn't a weapon. It was a shield. Ryan's single quotes his name started trending too. But for the wrong reasons. His past victims came forward. His lies, his deals, his manipulations. Within 2 days, Ryan Miller's career was finished. Anna never had to say a word. The truth had spoken for her. A week later, Anna stood in front of a live audience. She had been invited to speak at a global event for women. In film, she wore a simple white dress. No script, no rehearsed lines. She walked to the podium and looked out at the quiet crowd. A few weeks ago, she began, someone tried to remind me of who I used to be, scared, unsure, quiet. But in doing that, they reminded me of something else, who I've become. She paused, eyes scanning the crowd. It wasn't fame that changed me. It wasn't success. It was the people who showed up quietly, who stood by me when I had nothing. People like Keanu, who never asked for thanks, who never made it about themselves, who just... She looked off stage, where Keanu stood watching, his hands in his pockets, eyes soft. To anyone watching, she said, if someone tries to dim your light, speak louder. Yell. If someone makes you feel small, stand taller. What if you've ever forgotten your worth? Let this be your reminder you were never alone. The crowd rose in a standing ovation. Keanu smiled just a little. After the event, they walked outside together under the night sky. You proud of yourself? Keanu asked. Anna looked at him and laughed, for the first time in a long time. Yeah, you should be, she said. For everything, for the notebook, the letters, the silence, the strength. You gave it all meaning, Keanu replied. She reached into her bag and pulled something out. It's a small flash drive. What's this? He asked. Something I made. She said, it's a video, not of pain, not of the past, but of joy, laughter, the little moments on set that made me fall in love with acting again. Keanu looked at it, surprised. Why give it to me? Because you reminded me that even when the world gets loud, we can still choose the quiet moments that matter. He smiled. I'll treasure it. They stood there under the stars, not needing more words, because some stories don't end with explosions or spotlights. Some end in healing, some end in silence, and some end in kindness.